All right.
Peace and greeting from the sound of the rising sun. This is your boy Manque,
And this is Stephon.
and we're back with episode 56 of the Divine Council podcast. Um, shit, we back at it. It's, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. We gotta. It seems like for me, I gotta keep up with the information and the time and the scheduling, and
Yeah.
um, we back at it with episode 56. First stream. First, I want to apologize to all the listeners and the viewers as well, because I did kind of rush into it last time with my setup and my audio wasn't that great, but hopefully I got it set up now, to where it'll be more clear.
Right.
Where every time you do something different, may have technical difficulties, but we'll get at it. We'll get it right. But for me, I guess I'll give a little update on what I've been since the last stream. And it's still, man, it's the graveyard shift, man. It's like no room for error. You gotta always. For me, it's about positioning and not trying to stay on top of stuff. Cause shit, like even tonight, like man, just getting sleep throughout the day. Cause it's really like 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. for me, but at the same time it ain't, because it's just how you know how gray shift is. It's just opposite. It's flip. Um,
Right.
but you know, building knowledge, reading different books, and I did speak about a book I was reading. I'm gonna actually, since we got the visual, I can show you some of the stuff I'm reading and everything. But I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, just doing a lot of research, trying to keep up with continuing to add to the content and just building my own knowledge. It's not even about the content; it's about really enlightening myself right now. Just trying to stay on my schedule, continue to work, fight this the CV,
Right.
um, and you know building investment strategies. Just the same old. It's just like it's a new type of scheduling, I guess, since hell before this started. Where I mean, I'm trying to keep getting to it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, just
so,
gotta keep moving.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I'm like sometimes I'm hearing like an echo. I don't know if you
okay,
got like some earbuds.
yeah.
Uh
Forgot my damn headphones, G. Sitting right here.
oh yeah, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
See what I'm talking about, man. Like motherfuckers are sitting right there. I wouldn't even think about them until you said something. And they're sitting right here, right beside me. That's fucking great. All right, let's get it.
All
Cause
right,
I'm in
cool.
my room, so it's gonna echo. Let me get this set up. Sorry about that, guys, but we should be ready in a second. How's everything been for you though, man? The last since we last streamed.
Yeah, since last week, for me it's just been more of the same. I've been trying to stay consistent going to the gym, and when I'm not going to the gym, I go to the park and I'll hoop for like an hour or two at a time. And when I'm not doing that, I'm either like watching a show, or I'm like researching something about like an investment or learning how to invest and stuff. Because for the listeners out there, we are turning the Divine Council into a LLC, a limited liability company, uh, which that's going to be like a house that's going to have many rooms to it with different avenues of revenue down the line that we're gonna set up with it. So that's something I've also been thinking about. Also, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Daylight. This is the when I do shoot this music video, the one for the song I got with Mook. This the hoodie I'm gonna wear. This is his hoodie. It says, you see the
I like that.
yeah that's Daylight's hoodie. Daylight made that. I bought it. Make America Aboriginal again. So yeah, salute to him. And showing I'm showing support. But yeah, man. Other than that, um, that's just been the main thing. Just seeing various stuff on social media. A lot of distractions, and like I recently I was just going through my apps and stuff because like yesterday I was like I work from home still, and I'll be on my couch and I'll be on YouTube just looking up various videos like throughout the day, and just all types of just different things. And I noticed like when I be looking back at my phone and stuff, it's like I be looking not throughout the day. It's usually nothing important. It's like I might just be on social media real quick, or I'll be on like a dating app or something like that. But I realized, man, I just deleted those. I deleted all the dating apps I had on my phone earlier. What was that? I think it was yesterday because I was thinking, and I've been looking at videos, just people just in different avenues of getting money and stuff. I'm just like, man, like right now it's really not the time for me to be trying to find like someone, you know what I'm saying, like a girl to be with, like a relationship, or just a girl to smash and shit, which I don't really care about doing that right now. I'm not on that wave. I feel like if it's gonna come to me, it's gonna be organic. Somebody I see out in public at a grocery store or something like that. Like I feel like these dating apps, they're not gonna get you nowhere in the long run. I was really just thinking about that. I was like, man, how many people do I know, if any, like from their experiences with these dating apps, they actually find somebody that they're with for a long term, relationship. And I don't even know right now. I'm 26. I don't even know if I want a long term relationship right now. The girl I'm going to be with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She got to bring something to the table. She's got to be on that investment mindset and trying to build wealth. You know what I'm saying? That for her to really be with what I'm doing. But right now, I feel like it's best for me to fly solo right now in my 20s, because I feel like a relationship, all it's gonna do is gonna slow me down. And I can't slow down, man. I'm focused on becoming a multi-millionaire, and then what I'm saying, down the line, a billionaire. What I'm saying, I'm a futurist. I'm always thinking 5, 10 years down the line, like you know, everyday conversations and stuff. So again, like I said, these dating apps and these false relationships. I just was thinking, I was like, man, this shit is so meaningless. Like a lot of these girls I'll match with, what I'm saying, I'll match with these girls, have some conversations. It's the same shit. The way I approach it, it's like I ask a certain amount of questions, I get the number, hit her up, then sometimes they'll just ghost me. And then I'll be thinking to myself, okay, now me personally, shout out to like AMS or whatever. Um, they ghost me one time. I'm not hitting them up no more. I used to, back in the day, I used to hit them up like maybe once or twice, or I'll give them like three more chances, like 3 days in a row. But now, just one text, you don't hit
Yeah.
me back. One text, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't forgot you exist. That's where I'm at right now with it. I don't give a fuck because I know the abundance is there. It's gonna come. Like I know it's gonna come. The way I keep progressing in life, more bitches, or more women are going to come down the line. There's going to be badder women. There's going to be more temptation to go raw. You feel me? And get caught up. And shit. I ain't trying to be no Rolling Stone unless, well, I don't know. It depends on how wealthy I am. But I can't see myself doing that. But yeah, man, I'm just thinking like all these meaningless interactions with women and shit, and it's just like I ain't got time for that shit
Not right
right
now.
most of these girls, I feel like a lot of them, they ain't got really nothing going for themselves. And like we talked, I think on the phone about it, like it's like they want to be saved and shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you got a lot of these dudes that be simping over these girls, dudes that I went to college with. I just be thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, why you online like simping over this girl, bro? Like,
Mm-hmm.
nigga, you a man at the end of the day, bro. Like that girl, you keep focusing on what you're doing, you'll have 10 more of her, 100 more girls look just like her on you. I guarantee it, bro. Like to the end of time, bro. That's how it go.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to add, how's my audio sound now?
It's perfect.
Perfect. Okay, good. I wanted to add to that. I'm glad you brought that up. The, I'll say this, man. Like, I used to be really heavy into the date apps, just because of just how my scheduling and shit is. But and especially in college. But I noticed the last few years, I've slowly gotten more and more. I've been decreasing my use with the dating apps. But I noticed a correlation when you're focusing on yourself more. When you start to focus on your own goals, like what Alpha Male Strategies says, when you start to focus on your purpose, it changes everything, including your mentality. And what you're speaking on is the same thing I'm feeling. Like I'll get on there here and there, but like it ain't even been popping off like that for me. And when the pandemic first popped off, it's been weird since the jump, man. When that shit first popped off, I was like, oh hell, the last place you really want to be is on a date nap because it got strange, dog. It got real strange. It was like there's a lot of meeting a lot of females on there was more so like them you occupying their time, like especially like it's like man it was like everything that was negative about all the dating apps before amplified, I think, with the pandemic, with everybody being locked in. It's a perfect excuse not to have to come over to nobody's house and chill. Like it's perfect for women. The pandemic ended up being perfect for like dating and women, and it ended up being. And I think it's just different for everybody, but it's definitely different for guys now.
Yeah.
Um, it's way different for guys now. Like before, dude, like I was just actually unmatching females on Hinge and Bumble just because of just how their interaction was. I was like, I don't know how to occupy your time, like. I've been past all that. Especially with working on a lot of other shit. Like when you focus on your purpose, man. Like you don't even think about, man. You don't even think about that. You don't even think about anything but that bag or whatever that knowledge that you're trying to learn. I
Yeah.
noticed that correlation. You can feel it too. You notice it too, man. Like when you start focusing on real hobbies and
Yeah.
shit that on a purpose, man, women fall into place more. Like now that I'm out more at the grocery store, even at work, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing but choosing signals.
Yeah.
And it's just now it's up to me to pursue it. But wow, man, the fucking world is ending. Like my nigga, like
Yeah.
there's so many opportunities right now, my G. Like you
They
gotta
about
be a
to
fool.
girl girls about to start selling pussy for vaccines in a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Shit, OnlyFans got them tripping. So
Yeah.
bruh, only and I. A lot of people make OnlyFans jokes, but I got proof, man. I got like females that I went to high school with. Dog, I had this female I went to high school with that basically has an OnlyFans. I didn't expect it. She's like a five, less than a five, bro. I was like, bro, this shit is fucking crazy. How the fuck? I was like, I was like, dog, this shit is weird. This shit is really odd. I was like, okay, thank you. And I went about my way. I was like, what the
I
fuck?
mean, there's a lot of women, man, that's like, well, just people in general, they're getting a lot of money right now off of that OnlyFans stuff, and a lot of times it's like it's not even just fully like nudity and stuff. Like they'll just have risque type of pics, and certain things, but that's not really what it was meant to be to begin with. It was just more of like a personal a personal like connection with some your fan base, and then it turned into that, more so since the pandemic. A lot of like porn stars and whatnot have got on it and stuff, so it's turned into something else. But man, like, yeah, just in general, I just look on social media, and it'd be like girls that I follow, and they'll follow me and shit. Just sometimes, like some of them, one in particular, I'm thinking about this one girl on Twitter. Every day I wake up, she's like just retweeting shit, stuff about sex, just like sex gifts, talking about sex 24/7. I'm like, bro, is that all you got to offer? And then she'll say a tweet like, yeah, I'm working to get my business started and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. But then go right back to talking about sex 24/7. I'm like, bro, like that's all you live for, bro. Like that's how I feel like some of these girls is, bro. Like even on Instagram, which is turning into a flea market. Instagram, they be posting like some of the places some of the accounts I look at, they'll just be posting these random like thoughts. That's what I call them, like these gamer thoughts or whatever. That
That's
be
the
dressed in
oddest shit
anime.
right there.
Yeah, they just be dressed in like as anime characters. They be cosplaying and they just be posting it with their titties out and shit. I'm like, bro, like, this shit is weak, bro. I'm like, I mean, it's not. If I wanted to see this, I just go to a porn site. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to see this 24/7, bro. Like,
I'm
it's
gonna kind of go off on a tangent on that. I want to talk about the Twitch, the Twitch streamers. Man, this shit. You want to talk about some shit that is cringe? Is the Twitch? There's like a lot of these like female Twitch streamers. I want to just pimp. Since we talking about this subject, I want to pinpoint female Twitch streamers. Some of them, the ones who don't know how to play the goddamn game. But yeah, you got all these beta motherfuckers in there, paying them to watch them to watch them stream playing a game that they are horrible at because they got some skin out type shit, man. Man, like I don't know, bro. But I wanted to say this though, like, and I've said it before. This is why this is a matriarchy. This is actually a woman's society. America is, and I don't care if you agree. I'm not a white man. The white man is the only one that really has. But if you're Hispanic, black, like the way the shit is set up, you don't have no leg up in the society. The white man has a leg up, but who has a leg up above him? All women, I think, because of the laws in place, and the white woman rules this shit, dude. The white woman rules this shit. I'm gonna tell you why. Is because as a man, can you just create an OnlyFans and put your dick up there and basically triple your net worth? Can you just go fucking stream? Like, I mean, you can't just
not,
off of how you look, off of just doing it. It don't
not
work like that, man. Like it don't that type of shit don't work like that for niggas, dude. Like for real, it don't, man. Like, and you looking at a lot of these like auxiliary or like these these odd market jobs like streaming and OnlyFans, like all these odd market jobs cater to women.
right,
And you could make the argument maybe because throughout history in society, they've been oppressed. But I don't have no control over this society, so I'm oppressed as well. So I don't get like I'm looking at, or I'm oppressed like they want me. We're not really oppressed, but when it comes to the laws and the shit at hand, we
yeah,
do have to
hate
maneuver.
they hate to hear that when we
Yeah, I
say
mean,
they
I'm not.
oppressed. Because everybody's trying to. Everybody says they oppressed now. You
Yeah,
know,
I ain't oppressed.
it's a
Fuck all that.
buzzword. It's a buzzword right now in pop culture.
But when I'm talking about, I guess favoritism, because it's more shit that we gotta maneuver through. But yeah, I mean, this is why a lot of this shit is fucked up. This is why we so soft. You gotta think. A lot of us, a lot of these, uh, see, it's deep. A lot of beta males. Who are they taught by? Their mother.
Yeah,
Their mother made them beta males. And I grew up in I my grandfather in my life, but he was older, mostly women. And I can say I had to relearn. I had to basically turn myself into an alpha, and that's what alpha male strategy. He said the same thing. You think about it, even your own mothers and grandmothers is what creates the beta male. That's a lot of 95% of the time. That's what it is. They create the beta male. You have to unlearn that shit, basically.
yeah, yeah. That's what my cousin was telling me when I talked to him like probably a couple weeks ago after my uncle had passed. We were just talking about some memories and stuff, and he was just telling me because he just grew up with his mom. His dad wasn't in the picture, and he would come. I would go to his like apartment a lot um, on the weekends. He'll come to my house, and we got a family at my house. My dad and my mom, my sister. Every Sunday my mom would make like a big breakfast and stuff, and he wasn't used to that. He was just telling me, he's like, "Yeah, you had a real dad. You had an alpha male in your family, in your dad's a real dude." And my dad, yeah, my dad is, he was tough on me growing up, and I resented him at times, but I'm thankful that he was that way because it made me who I am now. And it's even like it'd be like tough love and shit sometimes with him, like he don't get impressed that often about stuff I do or whatnot, but I know deep down he's like really proud of me. He just didn't have his dad in his life like that. And it's I feel like we breaking like, yeah, generational curse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
More and more when I call back home, I try to tell him that I love him and stuff, because like growing up, we wouldn't really tell each other that we love each other like that. Which I know he's always loved us, loved me and stuff. He just showed tough love, which I mean, it makes sense though. Just the society we raised in, you can't be super soft with your, as with a male in general. You can't
Mm-hmm.
be soft, because you're just gonna get ran over in the real world. So
The older you get, though, the more you start to understand. You start that stuff that you when you're younger, it's tough love. You get mad, but when you start to mature and become a man yourself, you start to see that. You start to see especially what the male figure was trying to teach you. And one thing I want to tell a story about my grandfather, because my grandfather was in my life. He was in my life. He's not my dad, but I had a male presence. The story I want to talk about with him, when I think about understanding that when you have male figures that actually care, they gotta they gotta be tough. They gotta be tough on you, and not really. And it seems like they're tough on you, but I noticed the older you get, I go back and think about certain shit that happened, and I'm like, damn, like I think he saved me. Like he could see, he cared. And one thing I wanted to talk about was, I remember when I was real young, I wanted to be in the Boy Scouts, dog. And it sounds crazy. You know me now. You know how I am now.
all
Wanted to be
them sexual assault cases with the Boy Scouts right now.
my dude. Wanted to be in Boy Scouts. And the reason why I wanted to be is because they can make fires and the knots. You know how they do that shit when you're young. And I remember I wanted to be in the Boy Scouts so bad. I wanted to sign up, yada yada yada. But at that time, I didn't really understand fraternity and shit like that. I didn't understand what that shit was. Um, but I remember I had told him I came home with the paper, got everything ready, and he's like, no. He was like, hell no. He never told me why. He's like, nah, you can't. He never told me why, but all that I got, the more I understood. I'm like, shit, I could have got them went on a damn boating trip with somebody and drowned or some shit. And
Yeah,
then, so you know what I'm saying? Something odd like that, like odd shit like that. My grandpa, he was connected in that shit. So the older I get, the more I can. That's what I'm. When you tell the story about your dad and tough love, it's not
yeah,
that it's necessarily tough love. It's just that it's a lesson. It's a
yeah,
lesson. You might not be able to understand it then, but it'll come to the picture. It'll come to the picture eventually.
for sure, for sure. But so since we last talked, uh, I guess we can start with the politics again.
It's a
Biden
big
right now.
deal.
Biden is still obviously he's projected, he's the president elect and stuff, and but Trump still hasn't conceded yet. And as every day goes on, he does his tweets or whatnot saying, about recounts, and they've recounted at certain places, but it's not been the difference that I think he was looking for. And Biden has still won the key states that he needed to win, being like Nevada, uh, what was it, Georgia, I think Ohio, Michigan. Maybe Trump won one of those. I know Trump won our state, um, but I mean, but Biden, his biggest moves right now, obviously he's talking about the COVID, and they're Pfizer and Moderna are the two
Hmm.
companies that are preparing the vaccines to be out before the end of the year. You know, and both of them, the effective rate is supposed to be around 95%. Now, I seen. Oh, also before I jump into that, people have been talking about the student loan debts, because Biden was talking about when he was running, he wanted to forgive like $10,000 to millions of like students, up to 10,000. But now I've been seeing reports saying up to $50,000 dollars in student loan forgiveness, which certain people are saying, it's not fair if you've already paid. It's not fair to people that have already paid, that now these kids now get to just have their debt erased like that. Willingly they willingly took on the debt to begin with. And then there's other people that have already paid and said, I understand it, and I think we need to start somewhere to start to stop this huge amount of debt that's being eliminated. But somebody's gonna have to this huge amount of debt that's being accumulated, rather. It's got to end somewhere. But then again, it's like somebody's gonna have to pay for that at the end of the day. If we do move forward with that, I would, in my opinion, I would be gracious. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll be cool with having like majority of my debt eliminated or whatnot for school loans and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I want much more than that. I'm moving to have to properties and land. That's more important to me in the long run than just removal of debt, because you know you moving forward, it's like with businesses, it's like I'm going to take on more debt to start a business, you know, and it's a good thing to have a certain amount of debt also, so I don't really see it being the end all be all. But moving back to the vaccine before that, uh yeah, we got these two companies, Moderna and Pfizer, which we talked about last week, and they're moving forward with the vaccines. And uh people are projecting by the end of, well, by like around the beginning of summer next year, things should start to turn around or whatnot. And I don't know, man. I don't, it's still up in the air because there's so many people that are still opposed to taking the vaccines. I seen somewhere um Professor Griff was streaming, and he was talking about in New York, they said something about them coming out in tanks, going around enforcing it, enforcing people to take the vaccine. I'm about to see if I can find that.
I was hearing they already got legislation for a mandatory vaccine in New York and California. Like they already passed legislation for that shit. That's what
Yeah,
I heard. I didn't do research on it though. I don't
yeah,
have any receipts.
yeah. Which is that would be crazy if that's the case. But yeah, just wanted to get your take on that.
Okay, so man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The more that each day goes on, I think Trump is gonna win this shit, dude. Because all right, this is why I'm saying this, because when I cut on the TV, when I only watch TV at work, and I keep that shit on CNN, and I haven't even really been on social media like that, but I stopped really trying to keep up with the news because I'm starting to realize it's the same narrative, same shit. They're talking about the same fucking thing, and I think it's a sign of panic because it's high. Like I think the truth that's going to come out of this is that it's been high levels of fraud since the start of this country. But this is now when we're going to see on all sides. Um, but what has me concerned about the bottom party with them winning is that I feel like they're trying to rush them in. They're trying to rush him in for a certain reason. If we rush him in, we sweep everything under the rug. They're trying to rush his ass in, just so people can forget about the shit that's going on. And two, I'm finding it real difficult to find like unbiased news. Like I'm finding it extremely difficult to find unbiased news. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, I just can't trust it. I can't trust it. They don't have any real proof. And looking at, I did a lot of research on the Dominion machines. Um, one thing I do know off the top of my head is that that company was headquarters in Toronto, Canada, up until like last year, and like the technology is not even. It's now in Denver. It's now in United States. But I mean, whatever. But the technology is not even originated in the United States, and I think that's just the surface level of this, and now all that's gonna come out. And I think a lot of this shit is gonna come out about the level, because I don't think either one won in the landslide. I think it was pretty close. But I think it was close enough to where it wasn't like 2000 year 2000 election.
Yeah, that
Um,
where that was clearly. I mean, all these elections are rigged, but the one in 2000 was one of the most blatant, if not the most blatant, we've ever seen with the computers. What was it? The computers being broken, and I know that there was something wrong with the computer counts. I remember that in 2000 because he was going against, was it Gore in 2000?
yeah, and I remember
Bush, yeah, George Bush was going against Gore.
I looked at I did some research on this. I remember the 2000 election, and I do remember it was delayed, but I think I was reading somewhere it took them 2 weeks to actually announce Bush was the president, and I didn't remember that. So even like I think Gore he had conceded and everything, but they did the recount and all that,
It's
but
it.
it took them like a week or two.
You see right here the headline. It came down to a Supreme Court decision.
Yep, same thing. So I think the same shit that's happening now that happened then is happening now, but the shit that's gonna come out of this is gonna uncover that fraud. It's gonna uncover. I watched a video today. It was 3 hours long about people that don't fuck with him as David Wilcox. But this shit was mind blowing. I ain't gonna lie. David Wilcox put out this video talking about the just 3 hours. He breaks down voter fraud from 1876, and that shit. Watch that, and then yeah, there
Well,
he put receipts in there. And one thing I want you to look up after this, I'll tell you after this. It's got a couple links
I
because I never went back in here and did the share screen and try to figure it out myself. So I'll figure it out after we get offline. You're right. It went to a Supreme Court decision, 2000. It was like the same thing that they're talking about now happened then. I was too young to really keep up with it like that then.
yeah, it's saying right here, over the next few weeks, with no winner yet determined, officials conducted an electronic recount in which ballots were refed into the same machines, but Gore asked for a hand recount. There was much squabbling about when, how, and whether to do such hand recounts. According to the Voting Wars, one law firm alone eventually handled 40 election related lawsuits for the Florida Secretary of State. Um, so, yeah, it's similar to what's going on with Trump asking for recounts. But it doesn't look like those recounts have made they haven't been the turnout that he's looked for. And it's still looking like it's going towards Biden in his favor. So,
I think I think the whole point is missing in the media, what they're not really uncovering. Excuse me, is the fact that okay, he asked for a recount, but the fraud is in the machine. So if you recount it again through the machine, you're gonna get the same shit. You're gonna get the same thing. Like you're gonna get the same result. So it's I don't know if he asked for. I still think it's more shit that's gonna come out that's gonna get to the point where the media, even the mainstream media, can't go around it. Yeah, based on the election that we did with the machines with the recount, it's going to show the same thing because the same level of fraud is going to be committed because it's in the machines. It's software in the machines. So it's going to show the same thing right now. It's going to show
right.
that Biden is going that Biden is winning. They're going to on both ends. This is how I look at it on both ends. I don't. It don't really matter who's going to be president because over the next year or two, if Biden is in office, it's still going to be unrest because of what they created. The Hegelian dialectic, basically creating problems to give us solutions. Kind of what's going on now to an extreme level. If Trump wins, you're going to see the opposing team. They're going to make it hell. They're gonna make it disastrous for us as well, like they did with releasing this COVID-19 bioweapon. So like I think the big thing that we need to really understand all together, coming together, is we need to understand that I think the lesson that's being taught is that politics is all a bunch of bullshit on both sides. While we sit up here waiting, voting for somebody to govern us, because either side we're gonna be fucked, and we're gonna at least for a temporary period.
Yeah.
I think with Biden is gonna be, it's done. I already I made my mind up. If Biden becomes president, I know I probably ain't got 5 more years because the first nigga to come to me, because it ain't gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be United States. This is how deep this shit about to get with Biden, man. Motherfuckers gonna get sick to their stomach for what they thought they were voting in. It's gonna be UN, China, like different militaries. I think trying to enforce this shit because I already got brothers in the military that's been telling me, man. They said they're not following those orders, dude, to come back and vaccinate and enforce this shit in their own home, in their own city. And I truly believe that. I think that they can do that, but I think the Joker, the card or the hidden hand that plays is going to be other militaries doing this shit. They're not going to give a fuck. So we're gonna have to fight, and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight, and if it's our military, I'm still gonna fight. I don't give a fuck. Like, are you serious? Like, one, I don't understand why the fuck we have a government. And see, a lot of people that ain't got to my level yet will understand what I mean once they get to the level. You don't need government. You don't need police. You don't need none of that shit. We're all sovereign individuals. We're all sovereign. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it's going to be eventually. But um, I'm already pissed off that we got government, let alone a fucking a bounty hunter team with the police,
Yeah.
and like. So either way, we're gonna be fucked. I think we're all kind of missing the picture. Take like I think we're all kind of missing the picture because I think what I'm really starting the lesson I'm starting to get out of this is Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent. All that shit is all because Independent is a political party too. Think
Right.
about it. Think
Right.
about it. That's a political party. You might be independent, but it's still a party. It's under an umbrella. So when I'm starting to realize all these motherfuckers have been in on why this shit is so fucked up. So it don't matter if Trump is president. It
It's
don't
all connect.
matter.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. I wanted to believe that, and I still do have a little shred of belief that Trump has some big shit in his back pocket. I mean, he already put legislation out for HBCUs and the vaccine, the religious like he's put some real. This is what people don't understand. He's put some real shit out here. Like he's put some real legislation out here, like to really protect us. I ain't got a vaccine in a long ass time, just because of that. Wait, I do still have a shred of hope that maybe if he gets back in office, it might be what they're talking about with Nassar, Great Awakening, the beginning of the Golden Age. Because I do feel like this is a prolonged dark night of the soul with the COVID. Like this is a spiritual event that happens before a big shift. Either way, I want to believe that, but at the end of the day, I look at it like this. Okay, he's in office for 4 years. He knew he knew that these motherfuckers. He knew that fraud was shown to be committed in 2016. From what I believe, it's always in every country, everywhere. It's always some type of fraud with it. It's just increased. My thing
Yeah.
is, if he knew that happened in 2016, and it was still weird that he got in office in 2016. Looking back, we understand that he won that motherfucking landslide, but then that time that was odd. So I'm thinking, well, why would he still wait 4 motherfucking years to do Gassar, to go back to the gold standard, to do all this shit that he's talking about? It don't make sense to me because of this election, because this election is not going to be guaranteed. Because them motherfuckers are going to do whatever they got. Like, I think when it comes out, it's so complex. The level of fraud is deeper than throwing a couple ballots out, man. We talking about algorithms, dog. We talking about like shit that we don't really truly even understand. Like, let alone a motherfucker who's a baby boomer who's watching fucking TV. No, they're not gonna understand this shit. I'm telling you that right now. And um, the level of fraud is deep, I think. But at the end of the day, I'm like, if he really cared, he could have ended this whole motherfucking thing by calling, Gassar, doing the executive order, forgiving everybody's debt. He could have did that shit last year. He could have did that shit last year, and people wouldn't even be thinking about Joe Biden right now. I don't think. if he would have did what he was supposed to do, what they said he wanted to do in his second term, he
See,
wouldn't even.
but see to me, like hearing that, like forgiving everybody's debt, that sounds like an idea that Bernie Sanders would have.
Yup.
And there's no way. I honestly, I don't believe there was. I don't really believe that Hillary beat Sanders in the primaries.
I don't either.
I think Bernie had enough. He had enough of a following to go up against a Trump, and I think he could have won, honestly. But I think his ideas were too radical, and they were never going to allow that. The powers that be. So with something like that, with Trump potentially forgiving all debt, there's no way in this society that would go down. I mean, I couldn't see it happening that way. So in an alternative, what are they pushing now? UBI, universal basic income, or universal base income, where everybody gets a certain amount of money a month, $2,000 or something like that, or and that was an idea that Andrew Yang was promoting when he was
Mm-hmm.
trying to get the Democratic nomination, and that's looking like a real possibility right now. Um, but I mean, again, like I don't know what Biden's role is in this in the end, because I feel like Biden, he's been a career politician. He served as vice president under Obama for 8 years, and now he is looking to become president. However, he doesn't look like he's in the best health. Like I said in the last episode, I think he might have dementia.
I don't
You
think he
know,
exists.
you say what?
I don't think that motherfucker exists anymore, bro. He's like a life model decoy for real. I'm
I
serious,
mean,
dog.
when he talks, he doesn't seem like he's all there. Like he doesn't seem there. So
Now
I don't know.
tell me
He,
whenever when they did that. Now, the only thing I've actually watched live, I wanted to ask you this because me and my dad, we were pissed off about this because we were watching the Notre Dame and Clemson game, and they cut the game off to show the parade that Biden had, like that Saturday night. Yeah, they cut the game off and showed the parade for like 20, 30 minutes. And I swear to God, dude, that shit was not him. That shit was not him, bro. That shit was not him. That motherfucker didn't stutter. He didn't even sound the same. He didn't even look the same, and his eyes look weird. But that's 10 for hat shit. But I'm telling you, dude, like I'm like, bro,
The MK Ultra is real.
he was like he was jogging like that shit didn't even look right, bro. I'm like, bro, these motherfuckers home eating this shit alive, bro.
Did you see where he got? I'm still laughing about that video they got of him when he was in Durham. He was getting the milkshake from Cookout. You saw that? And somebody was like, where he's standing, somebody was gunned down in
Yeah.
that same spot. Yeah, I seen somebody piss where he's standing. I was just like, bro, he's putting on his little, his smile and that little. He's got that schmuck like look to him. You
I,
know,
I wanted to add this too when we were speaking earlier. The reason why I was shaking my head is because this nigga can say he like the last person I'm gonna believe is Joe Biden. Am I the only one? I'm not gonna believe a fucking thing that motherfucker said. That's the last person on this fucking planet
come
I
on,
would
man.
believe.
He played an integral part in the '94 crime bill. I said '92 a couple episodes ago. It was the '94 crime bill, and I see people still online trying to defend him after that, saying, "Well, he's changed his views and stuff like that." I'm like,
No,
you really think somebody that was a part of a bill that destroyed a generation's worth of families is just going to turn over just going to see a new day or see a new perspective in a matter of 25 years, 26 years? Nah, bro. I mean, he's still the same person he was then. He just knows how to play a new character at the end of the day. And he's got people on his side because people are so in love with these parties. They're indebted to these parties and believe, if they go against it, it's like they're committing a sin.
I
You
want
know,
to add something too. You know, it goes back to what I said at the beginning about it being a matriarch or being a feminine society. It goes all back into the plan. This is why they attack people like Trump who speak out, people who say edgy shit. They attack them because they don't want that
Kanye.
type of shit. Kanye, they attack those who because that trait is an alpha trait. I mean, this is why I mean I hope I don't really lose my mind, bro, because I really can't believe this shit. Honestly, I can't believe this shit because it's like, okay, yeah, this nigga, okay, so somebody may say some shit that hurt your feelings and shit. When you look at government, I guess, you know, one thing about government I'm noticing it near the end of this shit, is they're not here to really appease our fucking feelings, bro. Like, what does writing legislation have to do with what somebody fucking says? If a motherfucker's writing legislation to look out for you, I don't give a fuck what is coming out of his mouth when it comes to emotions. It's fucking politics. Same with business. That's what I'm not understanding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like people voted for Joe just because he's warming, he's caring, he sounds good. That's the goddamn problem, bro. How we get this goddamn dumb? How we get this dumb to where somebody
Every
can go up there and promise you something, not even have to give it to you, and you will still vote for him? That goes back to being a bitch. That's going back to somebody appeasing to your emotions and you believe in your emotional brain. It's all connected, man. That nigga look evil to me, bro.
bro,
Like,
like, look at that schmuck. Like, look at that smile, bro. Like,
where's his eyes at?
bro, like this nigga does not look human, bro. Like, he looks like he looks like a fucking android or some shit. Like, looks like they could just peel off his top and you see the bolts and screws come out. Like,
Yeah, man. You know this shit, man. Like, this one thing that really has been pushing me. I ain't trying to let it push me, but I talked to a coworker, a doctor, and it's odd, man. It's a couple doctors, bro. Like, I didn't think, man. They think just like us, dude. It's more woke people than we realize, and this, you know. But I was speaking to him, and he said the same thing, man. I didn't even bring this up, and I've been thinking this. He was like, he just tired of the stupid people. And I never wanted to get to that point because even though I have my beliefs, people can look at me like I'm dumb.
right,
Because it's still an opinion, but bro, like, I don't know, from my perspective, certain shit just can't be explained. And with this, it started with coronavirus. Now with this election and sports and all this shit, it's just so odd, dude. It's so odd, and it's blowing my mind, dude. Like, it's blowing my mind how the masses, the general population, because you got the people run shit.
right.
But the thing about America, the majority of the people are idiots. So now you start to see where democracy, man, you can't have democracy is not a good form of government, especially when the government has or the CIA has systematically put a system in place to basically destroy the country from the inside out, from anything through the mindless entertainment to the sports is mindless entertainment, being technical, to even politics, like all this shit. This is all a system, all a system. It's a system, like, and it blows my mind that, I expected this election to be like this, man. But like, and my eyes, I'm thinking, how is this nigga Biden even on a Democratic ticket? Like, how is that not like Sanders? Like, how did this nigga even make it?
They
That
wouldn't. This society, bro. Like, Sanders was literally going to try to flip this shit upside down with some of his ideas, and a lot of people, including me, like, I hear his ideas. I'm like, yeah, his ideas sound great, but who's gonna pay for all that? That because the shit he wanted to do would cost trillions of dollars to instill a lot of the shit he wanted to do, and these well, you know what? Because the conservatives, they still got control of the Senate, and the Democrats got control of the House. Nancy Pelosi was just reelected as the House Speaker or whatever, and I think nobody ran against her, so that was just a layup for her. But they still don't have control of the Senate, which is the most important is the Senate.
all that shit, really.
And um, I think when Biden, well, not Biden, when Sanders Sanders was trying to run again, this past year, trying to get the Democratic nomination. You got a fucking Senate that's full of conservatives that's not going for that shit he's trying to do, because again, Sanders has all these ideas and he's with the minorities, and he's got love for everybody, and he's trying to make a real change and shift the United States like it's never been shifted before. And the powers that be are not gonna allow that. Sure, they're gonna push these agendas on us, these liberal, well, these, I'm not just gonna say liberal, but these far left ideas about things, the way we should look at in society, like alternative lifestyles. They're gonna push that heavy into media, sure. But when it comes to their money, you're not gonna fuck with their money. That's one thing you're not gonna do, you know,
Yeah.
because they understand if he was to get into office and implement some of those things he wanted to do, then the true people that built this, that truly built this country right here, will rise up. They understand that not through fighting, but just through fucking economics. So of course they're not going to allow that. But here again, I love going back to that data, saying the 2050, the year of the white people becoming minorities, when we've talked about before, when really that shit is probably now. That's why you
Yeah.
see all this shit they're pushing on us now, because they understand that their numbers are dwindling way faster than some of these projections have said. So to have somebody as radical as Sanders, to come into office, they can't allow that, because they're still trying to maintain status quo for as long as possible.
Yeah, I can see that. But I'm interested to see, man, where this shit gonna go. But I can tell, I got confirmation. I just Google on how to. I walk through and how to do the share screen, because I gotta share this shit, dude.
All right, yeah. Let me stop sharing on my. All right, I stopped sharing, so yeah, you can do it.
What I'm about to share with y'all guys is this how blatant this shit is, dude. This how blatant for me. What's Okay, the World Economic Forum. If you know anything about the World Economic Forum, they have a spokesman called Klaus. I forgot his last name. I'll pull his picture up and all that shit. But this motherfucker looked like he came straight from Nazi Germany. Talked like he came straight from Nazi Germany, and he's talking about this great reset, debt forgiveness, the Green New Deal, like the vaccines, all the shit that people think is conspiracy. It started with the World Economic Forum. Um, pushing for this what they call a great reset. Well, their slogan is called "Build Back Better." Whose slogan is fucking "Build Back Better"? Like, this nigga didn't even make his own goddamn slogan. Joe Biden didn't even make his fucking own slogan, my nigga. He didn't even make his own slogan. He got that shit right out of the World Economic Forum, motherfucking right off of their goddamn website. Cause he is them niggas, dude. He is them niggas. This is what. So if he win this election, it's over, bro. It's done, bro. We're gonna have to fight to the death to get shit back normal.
Because
Cause it's never gonna be normal again, bro.
he's pushing that the COVID task force seriously.
Yeah.
You've seen Fauci more than we've seen him in like the past 5 months. Every other day. It seems like I hear another piece from Fauci. Fauci says this. Fauci says this. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like it happened exactly like I felt it was going to happen, except for Trump. In my opinion, I thought Trump was going to win overall the electorals. Like, I was like, yeah, sure, Biden would probably get the popular vote like Hillary got the popular vote in 2016, but I thought Trump was going to get the electorals. It didn't turn out that way. But my thing is like, right when Trump loses, magically a vaccine is ready, and not by one company, but by two companies. Two companies both saying they have a vaccine that's 95% effective. And I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way, bro. There's no way they just had this shit that fast right after the election. Oh yeah, it's ready to go. By the we're gonna start by the end of the year, vaccines are ready to go. And I seen somewhere of a poll saying like around like 60% of people, um, I think was it 60% saying they would take it, or it might have been 60% saying they wouldn't take it. I think it was 60% saying they would take it and 40% saying no. Or right,
I think it was the other way, dude.
or it
I
might
think
have
it was
been
the
the
other
other.
way.
It
I
might have
think it
been the
was
other. But I'm
60% saying they wouldn't take it.
so that's why you hear the news of the people starting to come out and say, they're gonna have people like armed forces and stuff trying to enforce people to take it,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to cause that's going to cause war. People going to take it to the streets. I mean, because a lot of people are questioning it, and even that I see people saying, yeah, I'm not anti-vax, but no, I just don't think it's ready yet. I don't. There's no way. Like, it's not ready. Like, how can they have a vaccine ready that fast? But I'm not anti-vax though. I'm like, yo, like, you gotta use your brain, bro. Like, you gotta use your brain. Like, yeah, and they'll try to. I love it. They love trying to tell us how we supposed to feel about this shit. Yeah, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tuskegee experiments. Yeah, we understand. You don't want to take a vaccine, but come on, it's a new day. When the Tuskegee experiments lasted decades, and
They still going to this day.
those effects are going to go on for generations. It's going all through genetics. Like, so how you expecting me to just be like, oh yeah, nah, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this vaccine. Let me do the right thing. We've tried that already and it hasn't panned out in our favor. So what makes you think doing it now is going to be any different? So
Every time we talk about vaccines, I love it, man. We might have to do an updated episode on the vaccines, man. Because I want to, the couple things I want to have the listener and the viewer to ponder on about vaccines is okay. It's 20 fucking 20. It's 2020. We can go on FaceTime. It could be the moon here through our little portal or whatever. We got these portals or whatever that we keep in our, basically these walking portals that we keep in our pocket where we can talk to people that's where the goddamn sun is out while the moon is out in our area.
right.
The type of technology and shit we got is just astounding. But yet we are still giving inoculated strains of an active of a virus to fight the virus. The problem I'm having with the vaccine situation is how come we haven't changed the way we thought about fighting viruses, bacteria, fighting sickness. That's the problem. Is the way we think of way they think about this shit. Because you know why? Because it's population control. But it's the way we're thinking about it. Why haven't we put research into motherfucking weapons? How come we haven't put research into eliminating the virus? We can do anything. We can literally. They say we can leave the planet. We can go to another goddamn planet, but we can't eliminate a virus. But no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. The way we fight the virus is by shooting ourselves up with a deadened form of that virus. Fuck out of here, bro. Like you, I mean, so when it comes to the back, don't talk to me about no fucking vaccines because if you still talking about, to me, that's Stone Age. That's 1600 concept that we ain't even up. They were doing that shit back with George Washington, dude. Like,
here's the thing with that article that I had up. Um, from that was from CNN. There's people obviously. There's people that's going to be able to get out of taking vaccines if they make it mandated at where you work. If you have certain, they say if they sincerely concern for your religious beliefs or whatnot. But even if they try to make it mandatory, they're facing potential lawsuits if there's negative side effects to it. So what are you going to do? I mean, okay, you're going to enforce, you're going to mandate for us to take these vaccines before going into like a grocery store or something like that, or going into our jobs and stuff. Now, I don't think that's going to happen in certain. I think in certain locations they're going to try to do that, like highly populated, like New York. I feel like they're going to try that. Texas, because Texas has been one of the states with a lot of cases recently. Florida, California, places like that. I feel like they're going to try to mandate it there, and we're going to see the side. We're going to see what happens because of that. But I think overall, what's going to happen is they're gonna be like, either you take the vaccine or you're gonna have to show a test,
Mm-hmm.
show proof that you took a test showing that you were negative before allowing you to enter into said grocery store, retail store, or something like that. That's where I think it's headed. But again, these vaccines, like, they say 95% effective, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I mean, I don't understand how they can have it that fast right after the election, and
Wasn't it like a month ago they were saying they were having all these adverse reactions from these? How? Yeah, believe it. Believe that media if you want.
I don't think, I mean, we've talked about it before. I don't think COVID is ever going to be eradicated. Like, I don't think it true. I feel like it's going to get to the point to where it might be like we might not see that many cases a year, maybe one or two, a super small sample size of cases, but I don't think it's ever going to be just like completely gone the way the way the US has handled it.
I think it depends. I do. I think it depends. Once again, I think it depends. We're at a good point. I think we can go from basically transforming the way we view medicine and all that, new technologies and everything, or it's just gonna be the same shit. This is what I don't understand. Like it's going like I understand like I didn't vote. I'm not a registered voter. I'm never gonna vote. Period. I mean, why? I mean, my people were here way before the goddamn corporation United States, and we'll be here way after. I'm letting them do their little theater show while I'm watching from the sidelines, like I'm supposed to as a higher spiritual being. I'm not getting caught up in that shit. I'm not casting a wish, basically. I'm not doing that, and I know I'm not talking down anybody that has done it, but this is my understanding. This is what I believe in, and I don't mean I may be wrong as hell. Shit, voting. From all we know, the voting shit may be 100% accurate. I doubt it, but all I'm saying is my opinion. That's how I'm looking at it. I don't want to get caught up in a high level ritual. Basically, is how I'm looking at it. I just don't see how. Like, I mean, I think yeah, I agree with what you're saying about it not going away. Like, because it's still hard to tell. I think who's going to be president because I don't know. I'm looking at both sides, and it's like Biden won the election. But it is like it's all kinds of constitutional acts and shit hitting deep into the legislation. And this is why earlier when we were talking about the Congress, I actually wanted to add the most important branch of the government, period, is the Supreme Court. Period. They're all important, but it's the Supreme Court, and people about to see why. It's the Supreme Court. It's Supreme Court. The reason why we're not taught about the Supreme Court in school is because the fact that throughout recent history, the Supreme Court ain't did shit. They ain't did what they were supposed to do. They've been lifetime members, and none of them motherfuckers did what they were supposed to do, which is literally follow the law, basically, judge. Um, they haven't done so. We haven't actually got to see the power of the Supreme Court. We understand the power of Congress because Congress has backhandedly ran the country, basically, but really the Supreme Court is the one that interprets the law and everything. So they haven't done shit, and they've been lifetime members. Even Ruth Ginsburg, Bader Ginsburg, whatever. Look at all the Supreme Court justices that passed in the last decade. Them motherfuckers have been doing that shit for 20, 30 years. Like they've been doing that shit for a long ass time. And the thing is, they were weak judges though. They wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. And see, this is why we don't look at that branch of government because it's been weakened intentionally. But I'm looking at both sides too, like I said, and I still think I'm starting to truly think. I still think either way we're gonna have to fight. I'm thinking that. I'm thinking, either way we're gonna have to fight some way somehow because um I feel like once again if Biden gets in, I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting a screen share so I can show you this. If Biden wins, then off rip, we already know like he's pulling all the shit from the World Economic Forum times 10. Like some odd shit. You ain't gonna own nothing. Like no ownership. Government's gonna give you all your income.
Yeah, and you gotta look at it from like this: Biden, second Catholic, president. Um, and then I've talked about it before. With the Jesuit order, who it's argued, if you actually do research, is the ones that's really pulling the strings behind a lot of the things we see in terms of politics, entertainment, stuff like that. The Jesuit order obviously is they belong to the Catholic Church. And then you bring into that concept, and then also you got to think about how the US honestly, in my how I see it, we're owned by China. China is going to come over here, and they're going to. I think China wants a war with us. Low key. I mean, I feel like I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, well, I can see that happening with China.
I think it's multiple. My concern is not just China, because I honestly think I've read books. This is why China's never attacked us, because we would demolish China alone. I think with our weapons and I, that's and because they've done it, but we've done it. We haven't done it before, but it's been done before. That's why they haven't done it alone. My problem is I think the whole world is going to gang up together to come and do what they got to do against us. That's my problem, because you look at YouTube comments, you look at Facebook comments, you look at how people are talking about the United States. Man, people ain't respect us before, but if you think they respect us now, bruh. So I'm looking at like it ain't gonna take nothing for a dictator and another in multiple countries to just basically, or even a president to
Yeah,
convince their people to come and get, because we've been fucking with all these other countries too.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm concerned about.
really fucking with the Middle East for the longest time. China blaming the virus on them
Mm-hmm.
because patient zero came out of China, allegedly, Wuhan, China. Um, we've already seen how we affect the countries within Africa, and Obama with his drone strikes and shit. Just killing innocent people. South America, how we've treated them in turn. There was a lot of COVID vaccine testing out there, but I mean, really, and then oh yeah, always you can't forget about North Korea. Always threatening that they're gonna push the button, like that. They got the launch codes like ready to go or whatever. So it's like, yeah, you got all these places all over the world. They want smoke with us. You know what I'm saying? And again, it seemed like it was a joke at the top of the year with World War III, but who knows, man? Who knows? Because this whole year has been a mess, but these politics in general have been the biggest show of them all, on a world stage. But then again, I seen I seen like a clip or something on YouTube, the news channel. It was saying how some world leaders, they were ready to meet Biden's administration or something like that. They were ready to
Yeah,
see
they ready.
into the office. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, they ready to meet him. Yeah, I believe. Yes, they'll be ready to meet, because this motherfucker is not. He's not running nothing. His own motherfucking slogan is from some old other shit. He's not running anything. So like he's gonna literally be a puppet. Literally, 100%. No executive orders for anything beneficial. Like, man. Let me go ahead and see if I can bring this up though. I'm just gonna follow through this real quick.
All right.
Uh,
But you see the icons right below the
I
names,
see
right?
the icons. Yeah.
All right, we're on the second one. You should
Second
go
one.
to the second to last is the one you should hit with the
All
two
right.
two icons and the screen beside it to the right, and hit share screen right after that, and then go to the tab.
Okay. So do entire screen. Say that one more time.
So right below our names, you see the different views we can go into. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7. The sixth view is the one that you want to hit because it will show the screen and it'll show us on the left hand side. All right. So yeah, you got it. and now I'm about to add. Okay, there you go. You got it. So now,
All right. All right. Now what I do now?
yeah, you just
Well, oh, it was right. It was right.
yeah, you got it. You got it now. So now you just
Oh,
type in
it's
what.
all right. So I'm gonna show you. I just wanted to show a couple of things. And let me know if I got to zoom because I can't see it.
See, it
Sample.
probably in the future it'll probably be better if you the one tab that you want
Uh-huh.
is to make it a standalone and put it to the side so you can
Okay.
still see it. Yeah,
Let
that
me
would be
see.
something you could do in the future. But yeah, you got it though.
You see this shit? I'm not making this shit up, dude.
Yeah, I see it. The build back better.
I've seen commercials on this from the start of the year. So this ain't something that he just created. Some would say, that ain't that big of a deal. But bro, like this ain't no coincidence, my dude. Like it ain't no coincidence. It ain't. He's his whole campaign is based. This is why he ain't talking about tangibles. Because if he were starting to talk about the damn tangibles, it would be a problem with that shit. Because the tangibles include charging you for all your CO2 per CO every piece of CO2 that you're emitting, which is fucking crazy. Oh, there it is. I keep going by it right here. It's in the PDF. This is the book. This is the shit right here. When it go back,
So we
this
we
is
so so we go from make America great again to build back better. Uh,
this ain't. I'm gonna click on the PDF. It's the PDF link that I'm keep missing it. I'll make sure this one. World Economic Forum 2020, and it's got it in big ass blue letters like on
yeah, I see it.
where is it at? Building back better. An action for the media entertainment. And man, if you go through and read some of this shit, look, they're talking about shit building digital distribution capabilities. Oh man, dude, it sounds all cool and shit, but it's based on a virus that was released intentionally that we don't even really have proof that it's as deadly as it is. This is the crazy shit.
Mm.
That's the crazy shit about it.
Because
I'm not gonna.
that's something I was going to get into is like you're starting to see these celebrities, public figures come out, like Elon Musk saying he was tested like 4 times for COVID and he came back with 2 negatives and then 2 positive tests. So it's like, what is the accuracy of these tests? And yes, I think he said he did the rapid test. I don't know if that's where they put the Q-tip up your nose. I don't know if it's something new, a
Yeah,
different test, or he said did the test like that like 4 times in a row and got like 4 different results.
it's crazy. I think the tests are contaminated and mostly now I don't think they're as contaminated as they were before, but they're not as contaminated as they were before. But I think the problem we're having now is they're not accurate. So you got false positives, false negatives, like we don't really know. And it's all connected. It's all connected because I'm gonna show you the leader of the World Economic Forum. It's this motherfucker right here. It's this motherfucker right. I live in goddamn America, and this motherfucker is about to man. This shit is fucking crazy, my nigga. I'm ready to murk a motherfucker. Really, that's what I've been on. That's what I've been because it's gonna get to that point. I
Man,
do want to play this Trudeau speech. Well, I don't know if I can play the whole thing, but I'm just showing how it's all connected. This is Canada's prime minister. He talks about a great reset and building back better. He says it in this shit. I saw this the other day. He says it somewhere in this. I forgot exactly if it's at the beginning or the end because I've already watched it before. But this is this faggot right here talking about some. I mean, look at him, Fidel Castro's son, talking about some bull. It's all connected, dude. It's
man.
fucking Fidel Castro's son. How the fuck? I'm glad we doing this shit. I might be spelling it wrong. I can't get my mind off of this motherfucking pig. Then I'm gonna take my screen off as a baby. See if they showed on Duck Duck Go.
Because yeah, his family would yeah. There was pictures of him with his mom, Fidel with his mom, and then they got the resemblance. Yeah, right there with that's the one that I remember. Yeah,
So this is his dad, who was a prime minister of Canada. I forgot something Trudeau. I forgot his first name. It was kind of fruity too, but he was a prime minister of Canada. This is his mom, and this is Justin Trudeau. This motherfucker looking at his son like, I made that motherfucker. That's what I'm talking about. He about to be running the gayest country in the goddamn world one day. Planned out shit. Look at this shit, dude. Where like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. For real. For
Man,
real. I mean, like, but I do want like go through and look at that World Economic Forum PDF, man. They talk about some
for
greenhouse
sure.
emissions. When global warming it can be debated. I don't believe in global warming. I think it's a natural cycle of the earth. They just monetize some shit. They monetize fear of some shit
They,
that just naturally happens.
yeah, and they get these little spokespeople like that with that girl. What was her name? With
Greta Thunberg
what type of fucking Greta Thornburg? I'm pretty sure her name pops up in the ciphers. But
getting 10 for a Haddish. It's pictures of her. They say she a clone. It's pictures of her whenever they had the orphan trains. When they had an orphan train, they got a picture of that shit look just like her. I'm gonna have to bring that shit look just like her, bro. And they were saying that she popped up out of nowhere.
yeah,
She popped up out of nowhere, and I got proof of this too. In the 2012 Olympics, she was in a cameo in 2012 Olympics. She was under the covers reading a book with the light, and I was like, bro, is that Greta Thunberg in 2012? That shit, she looked the same age.
she
Fast
was
forward, this bitch come out of nowhere.
she was planning. She was planning.
Planet stuff.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean that's for another time because I gotta finagle the Google and all that, but it's out there. I'm gonna pull it up. If I would have thought about it before, I would have got it ready. But it's a lot of I don't know remember exactly what I had to Google, but yeah, it's a picture. It looked just like her, and in all these pictures, she looked the same. She don't look like she aged or anything.
yeah, she looked. Yeah, I
So
think she about grown or like 17, 18. She looked like she
yeah,
was 12 or 11 or some shit. I don't know.
I ain't about to have no motherfucking have her sit up here on some shit that you can't prove. Like, I mean, this is how odd this shit is, bro. This is how gay this society is, dude. Like, this is how fucking weird this shit is. It's just gotten weird. You can't be masculine, like, on any level. Like, even football, even sports. I mean, I've been doing research, man. Even sports, because if you really look at football, football has been here forever. I really think like indigenous people, we've been playing football, basketball, all that shit. This is why we
Ancient,
love this shit. It's
ancient.
ancient. It's
Yeah.
ancient sport. It's all the cultic too, though. All the football is the Vesica Pisces, which is like a it shows like life basically. It's in the same shape of the Vesica Pisces. We can talk about that later. I gotta sharpen up on my research on exactly what it is, but I know what I know what the fuck it is. I've learned about it before. And getting to the end zone is getting past the sun gate. Um, we seen RG video about that. RG, the chosen one, he put a good video. A lot of people don't fuck with this shit, but he was spot on about the football
Yeah.
description. But
Yeah, he broke it down.
he broke that shit down. But even I was doing research on somebody explaining why they've made the game softer. And this goes back to the system I'm talking about, throwing the flags, you hit them too hard. That's all it's subconsciously telling us. Even watching sports, all it's doing is killing masculinity.
I mean, look at these fucking look at these fucking K-pop niggas, bro. Like all of them look like bitches. Like that they dead ass look all super girly and shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And like they got all these stands. Like that's why I fucking get so fucking it's annoying seeing these motherfuckers on social media, these fucking K-pop stands and shit. I'm like, get the fuck up out of here, man. Like
It's
knowing
crazy.
it's probably some gay male somewhere in mama's basement standing these motherfuckers, and you keep seeing men and be effeminized or whatnot. Like I seen just yesterday, I think people were up in arms about Harry Styles, pop's singer with that group One Direction. He was wearing a dress or some shit, uh, which I I didn't see the picture. I just was seeing people were talking about it. It was trending. They're like, yeah, people are up in arms about him wearing a dress and shit like that. I'm like, how y'all surprised? Like in 2020, motherfuckers is doing that shit. You know, it is what it is. That probably, I mean, That's probably part of his ritual he got to do, you know, with signing that record deal that he signed, you know. So it is what it is, and you know, we keep seeing, you see on in entertainment and movies and TV shows, you get black male characters, and they can't just have like a fucking family. They gotta either be on drugs, a pimp,
Gay.
or gay, you know, like they got to be doing something, a murderer, you know, like they can't just be just a normal happy family. It's got to be some bullshit behind it, or even not even, or they could just be, you know, regular. Oh, except, you know, they, you know, they interracial family, you know, it just can't just be a strong black, you know, family or whatnot. So I mean, we see it, and people are getting tired of it, you know. Even with that shit I was telling you, I sent you on Snapchat about Mike Tyson when he interviewed Boosie. I went back
I
like
watched a little
yesterday
bit of it.
and I watched it. I watched all of it.
I
And
couldn't watch the whole thing.
Tyson,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Tyson was on some bullshit. Like
I agree. I agree.
he was on some bullshit. Like he was
I
trying to,
agree, bro.
I think it was a shaming ritual that he
It
did
was.
on Boosie, because he got up there and okay, the first minute he gets up there, he's talking to Boosie. Mind you, Boosie just got shot. Mind you, 3 rappers just got shot in a row.
And
Mind you,
Mo was with him too.
Mo, the dude that was killed, was shot and
It's like,
was murdered, and then Boosie was shot right after him on his 38th birthday. Again, you gotta look into the ciphers because all this shit is connected. Then another rapper, Benny the Butcher, shot right after him. Oh, mind you, his cousin West Side Gun, he just left his record deal with Shady Records. So all of this shit is, I mean, all of this shit is connected. King Von, we saw King Von just was killed or whatnot, and we know
LeBron James.
LeVon James was connected with LeVon James. LeBron talking about something. Yeah, me and my sons, we listen to your shit. Man, get the fuck out of here, niggas. Like, what the fuck you playing that shit with your kids for, bro? Like,
When was he around his kids?
this
Playing King Von shit. Ain't he been in a bubble?
we know he's the master puppet. You know, we know the most people don't understand that, but he is the master puppet. So
I
it
wanted
is
to
what it
add
is.
about the dress. About the dress thing. I'm from what I heard, the dress ritual is them showing, I think, that they're willing to go. That just basically shows that they're willing to go to any level for their masonry. It's a Masonic ritual. I don't think it's a 33rd degree ritual because it's not that many 33rd degree masons, but it's signifying that they're in the process of heading to the 33rd degree and that they would do anything to get to that 33rd degree.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
but again, with the Boosie thing I was talking about, yeah, Mike Tyson's daughter is a lesbian, and she was forcing him. She put it in his head to go at Boosie like that, to pretty much interrogate
Mm.
him on that, and pretty much try to make him say, "Well, if you feel this way, you should be open to that. You should be open to kids expressing how they want to be and to having sex changes as children." And Boosie wasn't going. I mean,
I didn't
Boosie,
even get to that point.
you got to watch the entire thing because
I couldn't, dude.
Tyson's handler, Eben, wasn't saying nothing the entire interview. He was just sitting there. He didn't say a damn word, like pretty much the entire interview. Like, and Tyson, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why does Tyson keep harpering on this like situation? And then I'm thinking about it. He brought it up. He's like, yeah, well, my daughter, he's talking about his daughter being a lesbian. His daughter actually came there, but she didn't show up in the interview. Boosie was on Vlad recently, and he was like, yeah, after the tapes, after we finished that, Tyson's daughter came in there and she was like going at me, like, how you going, this is very offensive to my community. And then he pretty much said, well, he told her, well, when you say that, you're going against our community as a whole and you're dividing us. You're continuing to divide us. So I'm gonna always go for our community. If you want to be on that side, you be over there. But I'm not looking at that. I'm over here with it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. And he said, got into like a pretty much heated conversation. He said Tyson was just sitting there the whole time. He wasn't saying nothing. He was just listening and shit. But yeah, it was a shaming ritual he did
Mm-hmm.
on Boosie. And Boosie pretty much was just sitting there and letting him say it. talk to him. He's like, because he was asking Boosie, he's like, well, Boosie, are you gay? Like, why do you care about his son
That's
being
when
like?
I cut it off.
I'm like, bro, like, how does that make him? How does that have anything to do with him being gay? And Boosie's like, no. And I mean, Boosie for the most part stood his ground and was like, no, I shouldn't have said it like that. But I still am. I still believe what I said, that I don't agree with what Dwayne Wade's doing, like with his son. Specifically speaking to Dwayne Wade, and that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, bro, like they pushing that shit so hard right now, man. Pause. They pushing that so hard right now, man. Like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like I was watching this other dude, Hassan Campbell. Um, he's got a lot of information on YouTube. He admitted he was one of the people African Bambaataa molested when he was younger, and he talked about that. But his whole stream basically was just about everything that's going on with the rituals and stuff, with like the shootings and whatnot. And he was talking about like the LGBT community. And he was like, look, this is what I'm telling y'all here, right here. And honestly, I agree with what he's saying. It's like, look, when I say I'm speaking for us as a whole. I'm not out here trying to separate us like, yeah, y'all over here and it's us over here. So pick a side. No, you either with us or you not. At the end of the day, you want to, do what you want to do behind closed doors. Who gives a shit? I don't care. But you either with us or you not. And that's how I feel about it too. For the most part, I just keep looking at these agendas, man. These agendas and how they continue to sexualize children and shit. And fucking academics, he posted about this singer Billie Eilish. She's like 18 and she was like twerking or some shit. And he's like, yeah, what would y'all rate this twerk or whatever?
She
I
a
like nigga,
skeleton.
you a grown ass man. It's probably like 30, 31, probably gonna die from drinking.
Yeah.
And you over here looking at an 18-year-old talking about something. I don't know, broskies. What are you gonna rate her?
In the stream, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with these
Hard
niggas,
ass
bro?
nigga.
Bro, like again, that Adam 22 motherfucker. I was watching an interview. He literally interviewing this girl named PP Cocaine, and she's 19 years old. She's a rapper or whatever. TikTok. I think she got famous off TikTok, and she was talking about somehow she was going through a rough time or whatever, and she got off of drugs. She did like pretty much every drug imaginable by like at the age of 18, and how she's 19 now and she's trying to move on with her life. And he's over here rolling up blunts and saying like, yeah, do you smoke though? And he's like, you ever done shrooms? I'm like, bro, this shit is so stupid. I'm like, bro, like you literally just didn't hear her say that she's done all these drugs and she's trying to move forward with her life, and you over here encouraging this shit. You a grown ass man in your like mid to late 30s over here interviewing like teenagers and shit. I'm just like, bro, like this shit is so fucked up, bro. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, I would have done the same fucking thing. Like I would have done the same. I'm like, do you smoke? I wouldn't offer that bitch nothing. Well, I want to talk about I want to speak on what you were talking about with Tyson.
yeah,
And I'm gonna be honest, dude. I think that for me, I'm only one person, so it ain't gonna hurt him. He good, but shit, my opinion. Once again, like I don't even care if people care about my opinion. It's my opinion. You know what I mean? We all entitled to. I'll say this though. I probably never watched another Mike Tyson podcast because I felt like that podcast it put a light bulb on. It made me realize why he had that Evan guy there, like why he bringing certain people on. Like
that
this
should
made me
be.
realize it's literally Jesuit, dude. It is. And I think Tyson he fucked up by coming at Boosie like that. He did because I think the vibe was just tense. Like it was tense. It was an odd vibe. It's like okay,
You heard that dude Mo? He barely said any word at all. Like he knew what was going on, and Eben barely. Like I said, Eben was just sitting there the whole time, wasn't really saying shit. You know,
and the thing with Mo, I'm like, wow, I understand it as a Boosie rapper, but I find it odd that he's on that shit and they both get shot, bro, and Mo dies. So I'm like, nah, this is they're part of the media. They're part of the media. It's ritual. So I gotta watch. Gotta watch myself with that shit. So I don't. I'm not. For me, I was like, Tyson. I still. I don't know, man. I think that little. I think I only watched like 15, 20 minutes of it. That little bit showed me a lot. That showed me he's a puppet. He's a puppet, big time. I felt like he didn't even want to really interview him like that. To be real with you, I had this feeling. I had this feeling that it was a script that he was following in some way. Like, yeah, his daughter may be like that, but it wasn't just him. It
Yeah,
wasn't just him doing that. I think he had his podcast team. It was his handler basically telling him, "You're gonna interview Boosie and you're gonna intimidate him."
mind you, Boosie said they just released that interview like a couple weeks ago. Boosie said they recorded that all the way back in March. So
I didn't
it's
know that,
a
dude.
timing thing. A time they waited all these months to release that shit. Now, you know.
That makes it even crazier. That makes it even deeper, dude. Like, wow, dog. I didn't even realize that shit, man. But yeah, like when I watched that interview, I just didn't like he was kind of accusatory, and then once he kind of got to the point that D Wade. And see, D Wade clarified pretty well for me when he was saying he was not necessarily against the lifestyle, but he was against the fact that kids shouldn't be forced to do like you. I mean, you got to be okay. In my opinion, you got to be a motherfucking psycho if you think it's normal for a kid to have a sex change. That ain't no debate, in my opinion.
No,
That is not
I
no
agree.
debate.
I
That ain't in no
agree. For sure.
motherfucking golden age. That ain't no. That's that man. No, that is not fucking natural. People, because the reason why we have this shit, I think, is because of the drugs. It's because of the chemicals in the food, because of the media. It's all a big ass goddamn feedback loop that basically feeds a whole bunch of negativity throughout our society. All the shit's connected, dude. All the shit's connected because we're not living life the way we're supposed to be living. We're not. We as human, and we know this. Our bodies know this. This is why, like, we know every day we wake up, we go to work for 40 years, where my shit 50% of people, most people don't even retire with money, with real money, live off of social security. um Dude, if you really think about how the traditional life is, that's the real slavery.
People go to work, look at a screen. Leave work, look at a screen. Come home, look at a screen. Go to sleep, look at a screen. Wake up, look at a screen. Like it's everybody. It's a lot of people's livelihoods is looking through a screen, and it's furthering detaching you from reality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean is concerning. Moving forward because you look at these AI technology. They got these robots already ready to go, bro. Like I remember watching the video like a couple months ago. These dudes are beating the shit out of a fucking robot until the robot at one point just started blocking their shit, like and just taking over. Like they was like training it to be stronger and shit, and it just picked up like that fast, like how to stop it, and was moving super fast and shit. I'm like, bro,
Fast as
like
hell.
you got people like you got elites like Elon saying publicly, yeah, we're gonna put chips in people's heads to make them smarter and shit. And
Yep.
people just like are okay with that shit. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's odd to me, and I just I don't like the. I'm getting just uneasy about. Like, I feel like we can have technology, but just putting shit in people's brain. Like, I mean, like, I don't give a fuck if that shit would allow me to have access to everything in the universe. Because that's what's being theorized by Elon Musk, is that this chip basically connects you to the internet, but it connects the internet to your brainwave. So you're like you're thinking like
Hey,
you have
yeah,
everything basically.
you're pretty much a genius at that point. But it's like he's already said it's like it's already too late though. It's all technology's already gone too far.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, he's just another pawn on the chessboard and just playing his position.
I agree. I agree. I think technology, and I think this is where I think our whole lifetime they've been stalling on releasing this technology up until now. Like, for real, think about our lifetime. Think about our 26 years. I want you to truly think about this. We haven't really had like no true technology. Truly think. I'm talking about some a motherfucking like they talk about these med beds where you can lay in a med bed and it heals you of all. That's a true technology that
Really,
motherfucker. Yeah, they talk about they supposedly got med beds where you can lay in this and they
it
ain't nothing but
cures you of
hyper.
like any disease or
Yes, and they ain't nothing but hyperbaric chambers, and we got them motherfuckers that do. We never use them. Never use them motherfuckers. I'm wondering. So this is why I'm saying I'm wondering why we never using the shits. And I'm looking at the med beds, and it looks like an updated version of a hyperbaric chamber. And but all I'm saying is they say they have all this technology and shit, which I think is true. But I don't think that they've really unveiled anything. Think about it. We still drive cars and we still use fossil fuels. We're just now using electric cars. But
yeah.
they started with they had electric cars in the 1800s. So we ain't even been exposed to nothing yet. Cell phones. Some say they've had cell phones. Like all the shit we got, nothing's new at all. Like nothing's new. Like period. Even more than likely the technology that they come out with isn't new. But all I'm saying is we're still driving. We're still using gas, dog. They were using gas back in the early 1900s, bro. Like we're still using gas. We're just now using electric cars and shit, dude. Just now. Just now. Just now. So if you look at how slow the public is being exposed to true innovation or true invention. We ain't seen nothing, dude. We ain't seen nothing. I don't think. I'm talking about true transformative like technology, like zero gravity aircraft, because all the transformative technologies attack current pillars in our society right now.
I know.
Zero.
Yeah, I know. I'll know that the end is near when we start to have augmented reality and we just see shit like just pop up. We can just have shit just out of thin air and just
Yeah.
have like you see it on TV shows and movies and shit all the time. When we get to that point, so where we just have shit that can just pop out of thin air like that, yeah, the end is near, and the technological revolution, robots versus humans, will be happening. Because I
That's
mean,
that's the hologram thing though. That's the next step from the hologram.
yeah, yep, yep.
That's the next step from the hologram. I think they already have it.
Oh yeah, I mean, just like with futuristic weapons and futuristic jets, shit, they're it's all planned out on the timeline of when they're gonna again with the numbers and the ciphers. They plan this shit so strategically. But again, if we want this shit to end, if we want to stop these people at the top from doing this, we're gonna have to have a true revolution and a true revolt where we destroy. Well, we have to go against the government and overturn it and build it up from the ground up. That's the only way I see. If people really want a change, or do people want to just continue to be sheep and actually turn into these androids?
Honestly, at this point, I think a lot of people want to do that because you know, for us, it ain't odd, but for me, it's odd, and I think a lot of reason the shit's happening the way it is because people are scared of change. Even if that change means you're a slave, they're scared of that shit. It's just human nature. They're scared of change. This is why it's so hard for people to wrap their minds around the true problem at hand. Is because they don't want change. Even though that change can literally change your goddamn society and you can live in a golden age, people are scared of that change. And I just think it goes with I think it goes with intelligence, dude. I think it goes with intelligence. I'm to that point. I'm to that point. Like I didn't want to get to this point, but I don't know what else can explain this because I'm noticing like the type of stuff that entertains us is not the same thing that entertains other people. The type of stuff that entertains people that look at shit differently, I can promise you they don't. They're not doing the same shit that somebody who's literally focusing on Facebook is doing. Like I can promise you that. More than likely, motherfuckers focusing on Facebook still really. It's a difference between going on there and focusing on it. Understand what I'm saying? Because I still get on there, but I might get on there once. Hell, I ain't been on there in a whole week. So like that's different.
Yeah.
Still, I'm on there. I'm just understand what I'm saying. Somebody who believes everything they see,
Oh
who
yeah.
believe that sports is still real. That believe more likely them the motherfuckers
Man,
that's fucked up. Like they're it's an intelligence thing, dude. Like
be the most depressed ones.
be the most
So like,
depressed ones,
cause it's
and
like they don't want to step outside of their comfort zone and to look. They don't want to know what's beyond, you know, like right around the horizon. Like people like me and you is like we want to continue to understand the world that's around us. We know what's on the dark web. We know what's really going on. And people will look at us and call us crazy if we mention these things because it's not what they see on the mainstream media. But then when you hear about it a year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years later, you come back to us and we was like, we told you this that long ago and you wasn't listening. It's like with the crypto stuff. It's like you continuously try to tell people every fucking day, like, bro, like look into this seriously, and they just will not do it to save their lives. I'm just like, it's like at some point, it's like you just can't do anything for nobody. You know, it's up to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't want to look into it, then it's on you. But when all these people, including me, become extremely wealthy behind us, you're gonna probably want to kill yourself. Like because I mean, you had every chance to do it, but you did it's not talked about on mainstream media that much, so you don't care about it.
They think the media cares about them, but the media know what's going on. It ain't. You know what they told them? They told them to sell their shit. They told them to sell their cryptocurrency. That's what they were. That's what they told them today. They told them to sell their shit. And yeah, it's going. I mean, it's probably going to drop back to like 15 from 18 Bitcoin. But that motherfucker, that's just how the game works. That's how investing works. That's how the shit works. Like shit goes up and down. It goes
Yeah,
up a lot, down a little, up a lot, down a little. A good investment. That's how it works. That's how it works. But all I'm saying is they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell you what you need to know to better yourself at all. Period. And I wanted to kind of speak on. It was something about the crypto that I wanted to bring up. Um, it slipped my mind though. It really did. It slipped my mind. It may come back up, but yeah, y'all. I'm. You know what I mean. I'm real. It's still the devil's currency. It's still like really at the end of the day, like it's still fiat. You gotta understand that, but this ain't. We don't control this system. You know what I mean? Like I did the same shit in 2016. Oh, it ain't real. Oh, ain't it ain't. I'll lose my money with that or whatever. But yeah, I missed out. I missed out. It ain't about it. It ain't about my opinion on it. It's about what's happening. Once again, it ain't about my opinion. It's about
those
nigga. Do you want to get rich or not?
those same people. Yeah, I was a skeptic too. Um, but those same people that'll say that, like, yeah, I'm gonna lose money, will still sit here and gamble every couple days and hope that they hit the lottery and some shit. I'm like,
That's
you
odd.
rather you rather spend all this money doing that when you could be investing in something long term like this and actually see the benefits from it, and or you can just hope that you're chosen, quote unquote, chosen to win these millions of dollars, and and maybe you just are that one chosen puppet to get that money, but what comes with that? I mean, there's shows that show you a lot of these people that win, their lives are fucking miserable after they win, and
Especially if they go public.
yeah, especially they go public. A lot of states you have to go public, you
Mm-hmm. Oh
know.
yeah, that is
So
right.
I mean, what it's like I'd rather just do this shit and be low key and be worth millions and still dress like I get everything from like Goodwill and shit.
I'm.
And you just
I
I might still be driving my old truck, my
know
2001
it.
truck, over 250,000 miles on it, still, and I'm worth millions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I'm still that nigga. You ask for money, I ain't got it, chief. Like, I mean, like that ass, bro.
It's
Like,
gotta be like that.
you have to be like that, man, because people getting popped left and right. Again, going back to these rappers, I know that they're puppets at the end of the day. Well, I know that they signed to these labels, and these labels have them, and they're in these ciphers, and certain shit has to go down. Once you sign, but at the end of the day, niggas is starving too. So you coming around here with all this fucking diamonds on, these fucking lamb trucks, rovers, you think niggas is not gonna pop your ass? Like, and niggas is starving right now. Twelve
Bro, I
hundred
don't even wear
dollars.
my shit no more.
Twelve hundred dollars went just like that. It was gone just like that. So yeah, you a fucking target. Like, you best sit your ass in the house. Like, I mean, because it's not. I mean, it's not worth it, bro. At the end of the day, man, people are starving. And another thing I wanted to say is like, again, I've been watching just different people on YouTube. Like I mentioned him before, Dwayne TV is a dude I've been watching. I can't think his last name. He's pretty much at the same point where I'm at with this consciousness stuff. Is like he's like once you into this shit and you go down that rabbit hole, nothing is normal to you anymore. Like nothing is the same. Nothing is normal. He said he was reading up on Tartaria, what you was telling me about. He was looking into that, and he's just looking at different mounds and shit. I'm like, bro, like, bruh, yeah. Once you get into this mindset, it's like there's no leaving this shit, bro. Like, I don't look at nothing the same, man. I was looking at the NBA draft, and before we got on this live, and damn near every other basketball player crying and shit. And the dude that was streaming on YouTube, he's like, why is like every basketball player crying? Like, okay, I know that everybody was going through a tough time this year, but it's like, I don't know, it's just weird.
It's
I'm just
odd,
and
yeah.
then somebody was like soft in the in the comments, soft. And I just was thinking of that Kobe gift where he was like soft. Like, I mean, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, why is all these niggas crying, bro? I'm like, they don't get it, bro. Like, yeah, my life dreams have come true just to get into a system where you're controlled once again. And I was just looking at this shit, bro. Like, man, bro, like this shit they got us so fucked up, man. Like people over here crying over sports and shit. And I used to be so emotionally attached to it. I don't give a fuck about it no more. It's like, bro, like it's so pointless once you go down that rabbit hole. It's like it's no turning back, bro. Like, and I see people, these well, I ain't gonna call him a prophet, but these people get on YouTube, continue to get exposed. Young Pharaoh, this nigga up
Time
there.
out, time out, time out, time out. Before you continue, who was the first nigga that said this motherfucker was a fraud? I've been saying this shit how long?
You've been saying for a couple years now. I was just going, Young Pharaoh, man. He's one of the people that in the conscious community. He's been doing it for a long time. His videos or whatnot. And he's been exposing other YouTubers like RFG and shit, and other niggas like Reza Islam or whatever. But then I look at his recent videos. It's like he don't even talk the same way he used to talk. He getting into videos. He's got on jewelry. He's got in grills. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why this nigga got on grills and jewelry? And then niggas is like, yeah, no, it accentuates some. The jewelry, it elevates you. Elevates you and shit. I'm like,
Now that's
okay,
your money. He done scammed y'all motherfuckers out of. That's what it is.
this nigga's done. Oh, he done got initiated because where was he just at? Cannon's class. He's up there with Nick Cannon. He's been initiated into this shit, bro. Like this dude is not the same. Gematria, dude. Zach was talking about how this dude's a kid. Like literally, he was talking about a year ago how fuck Trump, fuck this. Now he's all of a sudden he's a Trump supporter, and he's reversed everything he said way back then to now, and now you see him hanging out with these other puppets like Nick Cannon, who's they keep saying, I keep seeing the headline, Nick Cannon, Viacom look like they're about to get back into a good relationship and shit. Nigga done bent over again, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same shit, bro. Like it's the same tactics they've been doing, bro. Same shit. So
Pharaoh, no, Marshall Daniels, that's his name, Marshall Daniels. He he's been a scammer, period, from the beginning. I used to follow him and watch him, but I peeped that shit a long time ago. I was like, but this nigga's off. One, if you're a conscious nigga, one thing you don't, if you truly on your craft and on your shit, I don't give a damn if you got 1 million followers or 100. One, I don't ever think about creating my podcast to like just basically harp on somebody else. Like I'm not here to. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm not gonna be talking about what such and such did in their video and how it's wrong and doing all the division shit. So once I realized if you really look back, 2018, 2017, who was the one mainly doing that shit in the community? It was him. It was Marshall Daniels doing that. Marshall Daniels was the guy that was creating all kinds of division, pointing fingers at everybody. And I'm gonna tell you right now, look at the ones who spend most of their time pointing fingers at people, making videos about people. Those are your agents. Because at the end of the day, if you're really trying to put some enlightening shit out there, you can expose something. There's a difference between exposing something and just basically, I don't even want to say hating. It ain't even hating. It's just like that's a waste of time, bro. This is
I'm
the
gonna say
Divine
it too.
Council podcast.
I'm gonna say it too. If some of them they might give out legit information, but most of the time they be on bullshit. Case in point, Tariq Nasheed. I continue to see this nigga. I'm about to unfollow him on. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but it's like he's such a fucking race hustler. Like he literally every post he makes is about race, and he literally just posted something where he was like, "Look at this ad right here." He's like, "Do you see what I see?" Pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing. And it's these pictures of these families in like holiday outfits. You see a family up top, like a white family, another family up top, white family. Third family might have been like a Hispanic family or whatnot. Fourth family is a black family, but it's just a black woman and a black child. And he's like, "You see that?" And then you look at the comments, and people like, "Oh yeah, they're perpetuating just a household without a black family." And then you see go down further, and they're like, "But if you actually go to the site, you see plenty of black families." And they posted all these other black families with the black man in the picture. So I'm like, bro, it's like he's perpetuating this shit constantly. And then once you go against him, he'll either say, "Oh yeah, you're not a foundational Black American," or you're an immigrant, or "Why are you following me?" I'm
You
like,
need
bro,
some.
like
What's the thing he say? The biscuit, butter biscuits.
butter biscuits, yeah.
He the butter biscuit nigga, because it ain't even about race. That's not
I
the
don't,
number one
and I don't,
fight.
and I don't care that you put out some fucking DVDs.
That
Supposed
it's not all real too, bro. It's not. I wanted to wait to say that. A lot of that shit is not real that they talk about them. They ain't got no proof for that shit in them DVDs.
yeah.
I say, bro, they ain't had a proof out of this shit. They don't even have no concrete proof. It sounds like a goddamn myth. A lot of this shit sound like myth,
This
and a lot
nigga,
of it is.
this nigga was a pimp, or he was a hustler back in the day. He used to write these books about how to get women and shit. And then he changed his tune all of a sudden. I think he changed it when he found out about the conscious community. And that's when he made his shift into that. And now, at first he was with the ADOS movement, the American Descendants of Slavery movement. But then he said, fuck that. And he started the FBA, Foundational Black Americans. So what does that do? That just creates more division. And
Mm-hmm.
plus, I'm not with none of that shit because I don't give a damn. I believe I'm truly indigenous to this land to begin with, and I don't consider myself African, and I don't really consider myself to be black at this point. I just use it because that's what is common in common terms. When I find something better, I'll use that. Maybe native, I don't know, but I just look at him for what he is at the end of the day, man. He's a race hustler. He comes with good points every once in a while, but most of the time he's just perpetuating, just division.
If you watch him, I haven't watched, bro. I haven't watched it. Shit, it's been a couple years since when I see it, boom, get them niggas out of here. Get them out of here, because he probably did come to the conscious community because he understood that a lot of people in this, when you first kind of get on that journey of consciousness, you have a thirst for knowledge. So they can be manipulated and shit. You can have them pay for consults. I mean, this nigga don't know more than you or me. Think I'm gonna pay some of these YouTubers for them niggas to analyze my astrological chart when they can't do it better than me? Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. You think I'm gonna go and fucking
Mother,
support Tariq Nasheed? He talk about fucking I descended from slaves when I know I didn't descend from slaves.
he'll mention like the Gullah Wars and shit, but he'll kind of glance over it. He'd be like, yeah, there's the people like the Gullahs and stuff, indigenous, but no, I'm talking about the ones that came over from the ships. Like he'll flip it real quick. You know what I'm
Back to the
saying?
narrative.
Yeah, back to the narrative. and then he's doing conferences. He just did a conference in Atlanta. I think they say he was charging like $100 a fucking ticket.
You an
I'm like, are
idiot.
you out of your fucking mind, bro? Like, and and then when people try to bring up shit like when Nipsey passed, people were bringing up gematria on him. He's like, nah, we ain't trying to get into that number shit. Or he like, we ain't or bring into astrology. Nah, we dealing with the physical. We not dealing with that. We talking about here, what's present. I'm like, how you not even? This all ties into that. All of it ties into. All you just looking at is the physical. You know why? Because that's where you're making your money from. So
And so, like, and I think that this proves that we are on a mass scale. We've all increased levels of consciousness because what's going to happen is, before it used to be what the idiots, like, you have idiots in society. You have before everything got more conscious and enlightened, or the journey started. You had idiots in society. Well, the new idiots are woke people, and this is how people like Tariq Nasheed. This is how they have bigger voices and shit because they know there's because the only thing that happened is we've all increased enlightenment in some way. It's just that some of us have just got the fuck up, have shot the fuck up out of here. Like they have shot up out of it. It just depends on what level you went to. And I think we all gain knowledge and some type of consciousness and some type of awareness because that's a part of the astrology. That's a part of the times that we're in. But okay, so basically now the woke people are the dumb people because we understand like what is the fuck does that mean? Woke. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like those are the new dumb people, and those are the people that's following shit like Tariq. They can follow his, they're not really listening to what he's saying. They going off here. He's a comedian. That's a funny motherfucker. He is a funny motherfucker. And that's how he keeps people in because he's a good comedian. And they go by the antics, the emotions, and they're not really listening logically on what he's saying. He don't make sense, in my opinion.
and then they'll look at it like how I looked at him at one point. Oh, he's got the Hidden Color movies and shit. I looked at him at first. I was like, okay, he's got a lot of good information in here. But then again, it's like he just keeps tying it back to slavery.
It's a lot of myth.
And yeah, it's like a lot of folklore to it. You know what I'm saying? And then I see him, like you said, he gets into public beefs with a lot of people all the time, trying to expose people. How do you get this information? Are you an agent?
They all
I
Masons.
mean,
They all know, bro.
he said, hey, FBI come in his house, raided his house. So I'm like, bro, oh,
Yep.
you getting banned from going to the UK and shit. This nigga's an agent, bro. Like
Yep.
it's super obvious. Like young
And
Pharaoh, it's super obvious he's an agent.
I wanted to add one thing with Tariq. Where's with him when he used to stream? What I used to notice all the time, where he would always be something fancy. This nigga used to be on vacation. Motherfucker usually be down in a house, a
Yep.
nice ass house, got
Yep.
watches on and shit, fresh. You got to be fresh or whatever. I mean, I don't care about that, but I understand it. You got to be fresh and shit. It's,
Yeah.
whatever. I rather much more take like a nerd look or make a motherfucker think I'm broke type of shit when I'm swimming in it. Whatever. He's always got some flashy shit on. Always doing some flashy shit, and it's a reason. It's a reason behind that. You can't when you get around people that's really spiritual and really on a higher level of consciousness. You can't hide the truth. Period. You can't hide the truth. You can't. And the truth is, he's a goddamn agent. He ain't for us. He ain't for us, man. Neither none of them niggas. Most of the people with platforms that ain't getting demonetized. Even if you're getting demonetized, that ain't always proof too. But most of the time, if you got a large platform, large following, the algorithms were in your favor. And the reason why the algorithms were in your favor is because you spit some bullshit.
Yeah,
Period.
and that's like it's like how you would say years ago, we hang out and shit, we get on YouTube. One person that doesn't have no ads. Vlad. Vladimir has no fucking ads on like none of his videos. How is that fucking possible? When after every video now you go on YouTube, it's like you got to sit through 2 ads. There's actually a way you can get by some of those ads. You actually just got to click the icon. Um, if you're watching like on mobile or well, yeah, there's a little eye and then there's a circle. You click on that and it'd be like stop showing this ad, and you can bypass some of the ads, but it doesn't work all the time. But him in particular, no ads on none of his shit, just straight into the
Yeah, every time. I've noticed
every
that.
You got this Ukrainian motherfucker, Eastern European motherfucker come in to a space that's not his, and he gets every one of these fucking so-called real niggas, street niggas, all these motherfuckers go up there, and what do? They snitch on they they tell everything,
Mm-hmm.
every fucking thing. I'm just thinking to myself, and motherfuckers look up to these motherfuckers look up to these people, like Young Jeezy tomorrow. Young Jeezy's doing a versus with Gucci, verses with the two artists they get on and 20 hits each. People, it's supposed to be a good time. This nigga Gucci killed one of Jeezy's homeboys because they try to kill him. Gucci goes on IG and you can see it. His last post making fun of that shit. And this nigga Jeezy's gonna do a IG versus, and they supposed to be in the same room together. And this nigga's supposed to be a street nigga, Snowman. This nigga's one of the bro. Like I swear, bro. Like I'm looking at this shit. I'm like, you supposed to be a gangster. This motherfucker killed your homeboy. He's mocking you publicly, and you gonna go into a public forum with him tomorrow and act like everything's all good, man. Get the fuck out of here. None of these niggas is real, bro. None.
Nah, they not. And I was what
Jay Prince is a fucking agent. I don't care what nobody says. I just seen that nigga had a interview with Drink Champs. It was like 3 hours long or some shit. I don't give a fuck how much respect that nigga's supposed to have. He's an agent in my eyes.
he
So
actually runs the shit. He's a big player in that game, big player. But he's an agent. All of them are. When you first brought up that Gucci and Jeezy man thing, I think on Twitter and I was seeing people talking about it. And I'm like, this is the first idea that came to my head. I'm like, who the fuck even took the time out to retweet this? Who gives a fuck? I mean, I know people care, but I'm in my mind I'm thinking, what's going on? Why in the fuck do I care about some shit that's 20 something years old, 15 years old?
it's
On
just
some two niggas that's washed, in my opinion.
it's just another distraction, man, from the real. That's all it is. Like Hulu thought they was slick. They just put out a 6ix9ine documentary like 2 days ago, and I saw that shit. I'm like, bro, it's just another distraction, bro. Like, and nobody gives a. Most of the comments like nobody want to see that rat. Like, who gives a fuck? We already know his. They call it the saga of Danny Hernandez or some shit. I'm like, we already know this nigga's story. We know he's an agent from the
Exactly.
jump. Like, I don't need to see a documentary. I already know.
Like
So
I said before, the Divine Council been calling out all these agents from the start. Just go back and listen to what we've been saying. We talked about that. Stephon brought up him in the police car,
oh
in the
yeah, he
music
was
video.
yeah, Uncle Murder. He was with Uncle Murder's music video. This motherfucker literally the only one in the police car like shooting shots at these niggas that's supposed to be straight up street niggas and shit.
Read, like, look at the shit, y'all. Like,
Meek Mill, Little Reese, all them niggas go online. They supposed to be so fucking gangster. Talking about, so we're gonna beat the shit. We're gonna kill that nigga. Whatever. We're gonna catch him slipping. This nigga went to y'all fucking hood in Chicago and fucking dissed y'all on O Block, and y'all didn't do a goddamn thing. Talking about some Lil Reese talking about some, yeah, we saw that nigga at the airport. We could have got him then. Why the fuck you ain't do nothing then, nigga? You
because
supposed to be a street nigga, right? Like,
they contracted the same CIA. They contracted the same agent. They said, "Oh damn, that's he with the feds. he with
cause
the feds."
they know they can't touch him. They know they can't because yeah, he's an agent. He's a fed. So
Mm-hmm.
from the jump, he was a fed. You
They got
watch that
this.
go watch that Gummo video and look how cringe that shit is. Like, you see all these supposedly street niggas, and then you see this one rainbow hair motherfucker in the middle of them. Now we'll look around. Who doesn't belong? It's so weird, man. So weird.
It's odd, man. I mean, like, it just really it concerns me, man, how easily swindled we are because we all in this together. It's the reason why, like, I don't know why I said that. That's the worst shit. Because them up damn Trudeau, all them motherfuckers been saying that shit too. That's one of the slogans they say. We're in this together. It's fucking crazy, but you get it. I mean, we're victim to shit within the system too, But damn, man, people just eat everything that they get in the media up like it's truth, man. Still to this day, and
Yeah.
that's been the problem. That's been the problem the whole time, man. I'm like everybody else interested to see how the next month or two goes for sure. And, I think it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be big. A lot of the stuff that comes out is gonna be big. It's gonna be something either way, like protest somehow, either way. Somebody gonna be mad. I just want people to understand, like, we shouldn't even be mad about the outcome of this either way. We should be mad that we've been dragged through this, through the Hegelian dialectic, through them doing this shit, making us listen and shit to
And
what they gotta say.
I find it funny, man. Like I'm looking, the NBA draft is tonight, and we know obviously the Lakers they won the title, and a lot of people were saying the Warriors were going to be a favorite to come out of the West next year and potentially get another title. And also, and it seems very timely that Klay Thompson in a fucking practice goes down with another leg injury, and they're saying it might be a significant Achilles injury. And I'm thinking to myself, who could have did this? Oh yeah, we already know the king himself. Like, I mean, all these niggas are run. Harden is literally trying to run to the Nets to get out of the Western Conference. He doesn't want to see this dude in the playoffs, and I wonder why. Like, everything revolves around this man getting another chip.
Yeah, he's gonna get about three in a row. I mean, well, I promise you, the NBA ratings about to plummet, bro. I don't have no. This was the most. This sports season was the most rigged season on all levels, even college football, even all this shit, bro. I stopped watching college football because that Notre Dame game. We watched the Notre Dame Clemson game. One with Trevor Lawrence, when they knocked him out, when they said he had COVID, whatever, it just went perfect. He gets COVID a week or a week before motherfucking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But when they cut that game off to show that Joe Biden parade, I was like, man, this shit, and they cut the game back on, and Notre Dame was up by 10. I was like, I don't know what just happened here, but this shit was there was a ritual or some shit.
Isn't Notre Dame a Catholic school?
Jesuit straight
There
Jesuit,
you
bro.
go. There you go.
They got a
Some
damn big ass mural called Touchdown Jesus.
people.
Man, I ain't pulling that bullshit up. Y'all can Google it. Called Touchdown Jesus. I mean, that fucking horse shit. Most of them racist anyway, dude. We used to play against Charlotte Catholic in high school, and man, the field was real close. Stands was real close to the field. These motherfuckers would do mass and do a little prayer before the kickoff, and then that shit would go crazy. They call you niggers, all kinds of wild shit,
Wow.
bro. Rich
Wow.
ass motherfuckers. Man, I'm not I'm not labeling that race. I mean, that religion, but it's fucking crazy, bro. Yeah, that's my experience when I was there. Shit, but it's just odd, dude. It's odd. I'm I'm doing my push-ups, getting fit because I feel like I'm gonna have to do some gorilla shit coming up because I'm not taking no vaccine. I'm already getting my papers ready and everything. The thing about where I work at is that we got a waiver for the flu vaccine, but I think they're gonna make something. They're gonna put something in place to basically lock you out of society if you don't take this CV vaccine because the flu don't exist no more. I ain't got a flu patient since January.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's all COVID and pneumonia. So it's been odd, but um, yeah, man, it's interesting. I still think, but we got 2 weeks left in this month, week and a half.
Yeah.
December is gonna be big. But really, what we need to be doing now is just focusing on the shit that matters. Just continuing to read and focus on yourself because I think that is going to take us a long way. It's going to continue to wake people up. Because I don't know about you, I've been woke, as they say, enlightened. I would want to say now, I guess. But it's something going on. It's something deeper going on with the skies and shit. Because I feel like each and every day I'm improving. I don't know, because I'm doing the right stuff, but I improve on a daily basis. I feel like, and I feel like that's what's going on now. I mean, I'm at work. People talking about I done gained so much weight and I done did. I'm sounding miserable. And I'm thinking, damn, nigga, I'm feeling good, dude. I'm like, shit. I don't know what y'all motherfuckers been paying attention to the goddamn news and shit. You ain't put no money in your pocket. You ain't gotta go to no gym. You ain't got to. And if that's your excuse, then whatever. But that's their excuse. That's those people's excuse. That's
Right.
those people's excuse. Like, what about your diet? You know what I'm saying? What about your diet? you can still, it's all excuses. People sound miserable, and I could say it's because I don't think people have been focusing on what the Most High has had us to focus on, which is yourself and understanding this reality. Those who's doing that is going to get paid off. It's going to be big dividends in the end.
For sure. For sure. Um, yeah, I think we're at a good point on this episode, towards the closing point. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think we covered a pretty good amount of information. I'm glad that this dream, man, shit is clutch. It's able to be able to take shit to the next level with the screen share and everything. But we're gonna continue, man. This shit just started last year, so we just early in this. I don't have no plans in not continuing to try to go hard. I feel like I don't even be doing enough, man. I feel like once I get out of work soon, we're gonna take it to the next level. But I'm gonna still do what I gotta do to keep this shit running. Y'all just
Yeah.
gotta know we're gonna keep doing what we gotta do. Try to keep up improving the quality and hopefully this time next year I'll be like Tariq Nasheed recording the podcast with a palm tree behind me type shit in 4K. But we'll see. Except I ain't Tariq, I'm Marquay though. I
Word.
ain't never gonna turn my back on you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna just keep moving forward and trying to bring the content that I think matters to the people. And yeah, I still work my day job for now, but I got plans way bigger than that, and to be something way much more, because I know my purpose isn't to do that. I'm just doing it right now to help elevate my other goals. And just yeah, man. I mean, shit, if I could, I'd rather do this full time, but it's not paying right now. So
It's gonna get there.
at some point it will. But for now, this would just be our side thing. But again, like we were saying before, we're turning it into a business. So, big things on the horizon, especially for 2021. So yeah. So on that note, I think this concludes episode 56. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, like, if you didn't, let us know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, especially on YouTube, because we just started that. So, trying to get some subscribers for that. The podcast is available on all streaming platforms. If you're on Apple Music, if you could leave us a review, that helps with visibility. A 5-star view, a 5-star rating helps with visibility. Um, Also, if you wanted to follow us on social media, you can follow us on SoundCloud at Divine Counsel Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Divine Counsel Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitter at Podcast Divine. And let me see. So I like to lead the listeners with a quote. So let me see if I can find one. Find one on my phone. Mm. So this quote will be about life, and let me see. Oh yeah, I like this one. This quote is from Mark Kane, and the quote is from the first. Well, the quote is, "The first step towards success is taken when you refuse to be a captive of the environment in which you first find yourself." And on that note, peace out. All right.